The DJI Pocket 3, well, it's become one of the most iconic products, like the original iPhone, the Nokia 3210, or the JVC GR-C1. But if the Pocket 4 is due out later this year, it has to be some device to beat this one. And if you haven't got one yourself, then what are you waiting for? Now, there are devices that set the standards, and I mentioned some of them earlier. In a world of so many different innovations, something has to be good in order to stand out. And it's fair to say this device has done just that. It's gone totally viral, and when you consider it's up against other devices such as the Insta360 X4, nothing has knocked this off the top spot. It really proves that point and shoot really does have a future, and Canon are dipping their toes back in the market with the PowerShot V1. So it begs the question when others will try to compete with the Pocket 3. And this camera really has set the bar high. I shoot with this in D-Log-M and in 4K, and it just blows my mind how something this small can do a job as good as it can. And the 4K 120 frames per second is just the cherry on top of the cake. The quality with this is so good, I use it on TV projects, maybe not as an A cam, but as you can see with these shots, it does a great job for wides during interviews, and it really complements cameras like the Sony FX6 or A7S III. But even for YouTube projects, it proves that content creation, well, it doesn't have to be expensive. And yes, we all have to make compromises. The fixed 20mm lens is a bugbear for many, but I see it as an extra challenge to overcome, and it's one I relish. It just means that you have to be extra creative. B-roll can look great out of this camera, and I would argue it's probably not the camera that's limiting, it's probably the user's imagination. We all have different views on accessories. Some of us like to use less and some more, but for me, well, if I don't need it, then a minimal setup is always preferable. Things don't have to be complicated. My go-to with this camera is the DJI Mic 2. Seamless integration ensures you have great audio, and the extended battery handle is also recommended. Also, this bag clip from Falcam is very handy. I've used it on my TV shoots and also when I'm out and about. And it just means that you can clip it to your bag whenever you're about. In fact, I'll just get it now. There we go. Clip to my bag just there, you can see it. So when you're out and about, it's in a great position there. You just clip it on and you can wander around, and then when you need it, press the button on the side there. You do your bits and bobs of shooting, you close that down and you wander off. And that one hand release is just perfect. You can have it on you, you can unclip it, shoot, clip it back on, you're good to go. And Freewell have sent me these ND filters to try for the Pocket 3. This case is absolutely stacked. There's ND filters from ND8 through to ND1000, polarizers from clear to ND64, and there's also a mist filter and light pollution reduction filter as well. So these are something which I'm gonna have to try and get back to you on, but wow, these look top quality. And I've left a link in the description if you wish to check these out yourself. But whatever accessories you choose, you will only enhance your Pocket 3 experience. But as I mentioned before, if the Pocket 4 is to be released later this year, what would you like to see in it? In previous comments on my videos, some of you want a dual camera setup similar to the latest DJI drones. And to be honest, what an idea that is. So I guess that would mean you would have a wide angle lens, but you'd also have the telephoto. And I think most of us, as long as its size doesn't grow too much, I think we'd all be on board with that one. Or maybe 6K or 8K would be something you'd like to see. Let me know down below. I think it's fair to say DJI are in the market for what I would consider be stretching the boundaries of what's possible. The innovation from this company seems to be setting a new level, something that the rest are going to have to start chasing. Another example of this would be the Ronin 4D, and it was once ridiculed for its chicken head style gimbal, but now it's being used in movies. And this was shown by Josh Yeo's recent video that I saw. If the camera is good enough for Mel Gibson and Hollywood, well, it's certainly on the right track. Therefore, Sony, Canon, Nikon, well, they're going to have to watch out and start taking notice, because the market, well, it isn't just theirs anymore. The DJI Pocket 3 has been a phenomenon, and in the 18 months since it was released, YouTube has been flooded with content surrounding it, but it's also been making a lot of that content too. Which leads me to think what other devices have made a similar impact over the last 10 years. possibly the iPhone. And with its previous 2-year release schedule, I think we're all anticipating a new and improved camera later this year. But if nothing else, DJI have not disappointed over recent years, and I'm hoping the Pocket 4 will continue to be small in size, but will continue the tradition of making a big impact.